Well, good morning. Oh, it sounds a little loud, but we'll get through that. We'll turn it down here in a second, or maybe it's just the echo, but we are super excited to have you guys here with us for our dispatch graduation. And so as we get started, if you wouldn't mind standing with us for the posting of our colors and then our Pledge of Allegiance. Class President, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. Well, today is a big day for us. This is really exciting for us to be able to celebrate our new dispatchers coming out of their academy after 11 long weeks. Take a little pause here.
Try that.
Okay. A little better? Great. Thanks for your patience. 11 long weeks of academy, which culminates in today with us having the chance to celebrate their hard work and efforts getting this far. And now they get to move into the training phase, into the CTO program, which is even longer, and we're really excited about that. And so we know that we could never do graduations, life, training, and everything that goes into being a dispatcher, being an employee of the sheriff's office without the teamwork of friends and family to go right alongside all of that with us. And so I know this is a much different academy. We're doing our graduations much differently. Typically, this room would be filled with our employees and staff members and everybody that wants to be here celebrating right along with you. But we have to do it a little bit different. And so we appreciate you being flexible and being a part of that, even in this unique way. On our YouTube channel and out on the web, we have a lot of our employees that are out there watching right now. Our county commissioners are participating with us today, and so it's an exciting day not only for our agency, but for the entire county and what these dispatchers now bring to the table. And so thank you. Thank you, families. Thank you, friends, for being with us today. We certainly appreciate it. We're going to get started into our program, and to do that, I'm going to ask our director of our dispatch center, our communications director, Andrea Dearden, to come and just spend a little bit of time talking about our program, a little bit about our bureau, and what's entailed with all of that. And so with that, Andrea?
Thank you, Sheriff. I'll stay here so that audio, everybody can hear me. So when somebody picks up the phone, it's almost, they dial 911, it's almost always because they don't know how or don't have the ability to manage something going on in their life. So they're often very afraid. They are, they're worried. They are simply, unknowing, right? Lots of uncertainty in that. And so what we need is that very first voice on the other end of that line, that very first contact. It really does set the tone for what's about to happen. So we need, and we ask every one of our emergency communications officers to be calm, to be confident, to be compassionate, to be courageous, and to be competent. And that is no small task. We know that we are asking a whole lot, and that's why training is absolutely critical. really good training. A few years ago, the state recognized the importance of training for dispatchers and mandated standardized quality training for all emergency communications officers across the state of Idaho. And that's when we took a look at our own training program and said, how do we bring the right structure, how do we formalize our training to not only meet but exceed the standards set by the state? Because we believe in delivering the very best service to our community. So we did that. We created a program that we are incredibly proud of. This is our 5th Dispatch Academy, the 2nd since being certified by the Idaho Peace Officer Standards and Training, because we wanted to be able to open our academy to other folks across the state and provide the training that dispatchers need, because we are so proud of our program, and we did that this time. So the first 2 weeks of the academy are what we consider kind of basic training. That's those basic skills training that every dispatcher needs, no matter what agency you're going to be working for. And we were able to invite 6 other dispatchers in. They are going to now go to work for 4 other agencies outside of Ada County. But we were able to provide that training to them, and we're incredibly proud that the scores and the performance measures that we had in our academy matched. They were as good as those being offered by the state. So congratulations to all of our folks who participated in that first 2 weeks. After the Basic Skills Academy, then we move into the Advanced Academy. And that's the part where it feels like drinking from a fire hose, right? Designators, districts. We talk about personality differences and communication styles, de-escalation, crisis intervention, emotional survival, right? Emotional intelligence, how to work with different people at sometimes the worst moments of their lives, and to, again, live the sheriff's office values: integrity, dedication, attitude, service, all things that are absolutely critical to us. Not just what we do, but how we do it. That's what sets us apart here at the Sheriff's Office, and we're very proud of the way that all of our dispatchers live our values. So we now move into what the next phase, as the sheriff talked about. That's the on-the-floor training. And if we had 7 weeks of fire hose, I don't know what you'd call the next several months. It's going to be a lot of fun. Although Madison's been waiting. Please let me at it. Get me out of this classroom. Get me away from the desk, right? We dispatch for 14 different agencies. So all of the police, fire, and paramedics in Ada County. That's a lot. A lot of different things to know, a lot of protocols and procedures. We have to understand the way that they operate and meet that standard, helping to create that safer community that we all very much love to live in, to work in, and to play in. And you are a huge part of that. I've had the privilege of being able to be in the academy classes with these 4 graduates. And I am incredibly impressed at the way that they have not only learned to take care of the community, but truly take care of themselves and to take care of each other, because that is something that is incredibly important to us as well. The sheriff's prioritized happy, healthy employees who live and work in an environment that is safe and happy and fun. We have fun at work, and that's something that makes a huge difference. This job is tough, right? And to be able to have a place where you feel supported, that you feel competent, calm, confident, courageous. That is what matters to us, because we know it makes all the difference. So we are incredibly proud of you. I am very proud of you. I'm so proud of the way you have shown your skills and your abilities and your willingness to serve the community in the way that meets and exceeds the ACSO standards. So with that, I want to ask our class president to bring all of our graduates up to take the Ada County Sheriff's Office oath, also something very important to us that we each do as kind of an honor to the roles that we're getting ready to take. So come on up.
Class, please rise.
Try this again. As Andrea said, this is a unique oath to us here at the Sheriff's Office. It's one that we wrote a number of years ago. And we take it really personal when we evaluate what our role is to the community. Every one of our employees that graduate from one of our academies, no matter if you're a gun-toting patrol deputy, a detention deputy, a dispatcher, one of our record staff, we all take the same oath, because one of the things that we feel strongly about is delivering high levels of service to the people that need us. I had the chance to chat with our graduates during their academy, and one of the things that we talk about at length is in somebody's lifetime, people may call 911 one time in their life. And we get in a routine as dispatchers, as patrolmen, as detention staff, doing a really good job the same way every day. But one of the things that we have to remember is people don't go through some type of class in how to call 911. Nobody really knows what they're supposed to say or do when they come home from work and their front door is kicked in, and the very first call they're going to make is to our Ada County dispatchers. Or when something really bad happens to one of their family members and they get to make one phone call in their life to make their craziness stop, it's going to be to one of these four ladies. And why this oath is important to us is because it represents what we pledge to you, the community, what we pledge to the people that we're taking an oath to protect, what we will do on that one time when you call 911, and continue to do that for the rest of our career. And so I encourage you as family members, this is a team sport like we talked about. They are going to have a lot of days that are incredibly stressful. They're going to see and hear some of the things that the rest of society will never hear. And when they come home, they're going to need to hear, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Do you want to talk about it? And even if they don't want to talk about it, I encourage you to say, let's talk. All right? So as you listen to these words, put yourself in that same place and think through, what role do I play as they are taking on this incredible, important task to serve our community. All right? Graduates, you can take your mask off. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Idaho.
of the state of Idaho.
I will earn the respect of others
I will earn the respect of others
by being ethical and professional at all times.
by being ethical and professional at all times.
I pledge to carry out my duties
I pledge to carry out my duties
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and bring honor to the Ada County Sheriff's Office
and bring honor to the Ada County Sheriff's Office
and to myself,
and to myself,
so help me God.
so help me God.
All right, congratulations. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
When I talk about this class being so good at taking care of each other, I think probably more than any other academy class I have been a part of, these four women are incredibly encouraging of each other. They are each other's cheerleaders. They definitely have each other's back. Nothing better than when one person leaves the room and the other three talk about how great they are. You don't see that very often. You don't hear that very often. And that is exactly what happened. In fact, it was last week that it happened. And the person who left the room was Carissa. Carissa Yarnot is our class president. She left the room, and I got to hear how incredibly dedicated she is to her family. Nothing more important to her. And when you can have people who recognize strengths and values in the people that they work around, you start to feel really comfortable with the team that you're building. You start to feel very, very proud of that. So a lot to say about Carissa. She has definitely been kind of the mother of this group, right? Takes care of folks, sometimes keeps them in line. But she is our class president, so we're going to invite you to come up, Carissa, and address your class.
Thank you, Anne. Welcome, everybody. I would like to take the time to thank everybody for attending today. Sheriff Bartlett, Chief Deputy Johnson, our Director, Andrea Dearden, our fearless training director, Cassie Owens, all of our family and friends in attendance, and those watching from home and live. Hi, Mom. I would also like to thank my classmates, for they are one of the reasons I'm up here giving this speech right now as their class president. What many of you don't know is I am the only one in our group that was rated an introvert with our Myers-Briggs type. So congratulations to me. But in all seriousness, I'm absolutely honored to stand before you as the class president for Academy number 5. As I sat down to start writing my speech, I started reflecting back on what the last 11 weeks has meant, how excited, nervous, and ready we were to get started down on what we hoped would be a very long and rewarding career in the first responder community. I was thinking back on our first day meeting Sheriff Bartlett and going over the sheriff's missions, visions, and priorities, and we were all talking about current events and trust. That was a big issue facing the nation when we started in regards to law enforcement. Each of us went around the room giving our thoughts on the current situation and why we think the public is having trust issues with law enforcement. I believe at one point, all of us, minus Sheriff Bartlett, were in tears. Tears because we are very passionate about law enforcement and what first responders mean to us. Sorry. To know that when you take an oath as a first responder in a nation that was undergoing uncertain times, 2020 has been rough to say the least. And I'm not going to sit up here and go over all the different challenges that 2020 has brought us. I just want the girls to reflect on what obstacles we have overcome to get through such an extremely difficult academy with the events of the world unfolding around us. Our second week and our third week was our post-certification. This included many outside agencies, sending one or more employees to attend. We had people from state communications, Nampa, Owyhee County, Minidoka County, which, yes, I pronounced Minidoka right. A lot of the people from surrounding counties in Idaho that spoke up and told us that 911 dispatcher training, that was all they got, was their post-academy for those 2 weeks. They weren't given absolutely any other tools. What I quickly realized as time went on and we got to know each other is that we as Ada County Sheriff's employees stood out. We were the ones willing to speak up and ask questions, no matter how big, small, or stupid the question was. I'm going to say stupid because during the academy, I was the one, no matter what question I had, I would start with, this is going to be a stupid question, even though it wasn't, and I knew that, but that phrase came out of my mouth a lot. The 4 of us were outgoing, taking in all the training we could, doing our best to be sponges and soak it all up. But I also realized something else. I realized that for many reasons, we were the lucky ones. Lucky because we know that our sheriff stands behind us, but is more than willing to lead from the front when needed. Same goes for our director, Andrea. We have mentorship programs, healthcare programs, not just for the physical health, but for mental health as well. They were all very shocked when we told them that we don't even get to answer a phone within the first 10 weeks of training. Our extensive training is what makes us stand out, though. It teaches us not only how to answer a phone and what code to use and how to dispatch it, it teaches us how to be a human and show empathy on the phone, how to soothe a frightened child, how to calmly give CPR to somebody who just found their loved one, but also lucky because of the many resources we have, not just as employees, but as individuals as well. It became this serene feeling of luck. lucky that we live in a community that I know that my son and daughter will be okay going to a park, going to the mall, going downtown and hanging out with friends. My family relocated here about a year and a half ago. We chose to relocate to this area for many reasons. I remember in my hometown having my kids walk to a little convenience store to go buy candy. The store was less than a mile away from my home. I remember that feeling of being absolutely terrified that something was going to happen to them, that they would get kidnapped, mugged, or even something worse. And no, I'm not a hover mom. Much. When they walked back in the door, they were talking about numbers. I asked them what they were talking about. They said on their walk that they kept seeing needles. I wanted so badly to believe that we were in a good area. My mind didn't immediately go to a bad place. They went on to describe that these needles looked like shots with little orange tips on them. They had counted 8 hypodermic needles from my house to the store. In the time that I have been here, I have not seen one. Not on the street, not on the sidewalks, not in parks. Yes, I realize that crime happens everywhere, but we live in an extremely safe community. The police deputy presence is wonderful here. I feel safe. I know that my family is safe. I know that we live in a community that is pro-law enforcement, that that my family doesn't have to feel threatened to, when my kids get asked what their parents do for a living, my kids can stand tall and say that both of their parents are in law enforcement, which leads me to the sheriff's mission, making safer places for you to live, work, and play. That is a true statement if I ever heard one, and I am so very proud to be a part of that. I am very family-oriented, as Andrea said. One of the reasons I chose to become a 911 dispatcher in Ada County was the family environment, the feeling that you matter. The very first time that I stepped out on the dispatch floor, you feel a connection between people trying to do their best day in and day out and make a difference in the community that they love. There was no gossip. There was no he said, she said, no bad-mouthing other employees. It was all the dispatchers on the floor moving fluidly to take a call, dispatch it out, help and watch patrol, and then watch the call come to fruition, with a few steps in between, of course. I was just in awe of how they did it. They made it look so easy. The best way to describe it is like seeing golf on TV. It looks so easy, and then when you actually go to swing that club and you take your first swing and miss, you realize just incredibly how hard it is. Which, by the way, and my husband can probably attest to this, if I ever golf, and if you ever see me golfing, I am picking that ball up and probably throwing it more than I hit it. My hope is that for one day, we can be those professional dispatchers that make it look so easy, that we can be just as fluid as the people we have watched all this time doing it. Over the past few months, I have learned a lot about my coworkers and myself. We came here with a common goal to be dispatchers. Along the way, we learned an awful lot about each other, what makes us tick, what our Meyer-Briggs type was, and what our Harry Potter houses were. Go Slytherin, by the way. That we have a lot in common, but that we also have quite a few differences. We have a mom of 4 beautiful girls that lights up every time that she talks about our family. She has a drive like I have never seen. She's an EMT and has an absolute desire to help people. We also have a young lady who strives for excellence and is more organized than anybody I've met in my entire life. I saw her excitement the first day that she got to talk on the radio, as Andrea said. I can see a passion in her and know that she will excel in absolutely anything she puts her mind to. We also have another young lady of a business owner that grew up with thick skin due to the family business. She has overcome many, many obstacles in her life and is an absolute ray of sunshine and takes every moment of her life to live it to the fullest. I am so very proud of all of us. I'm not going to sit up here and say that it was easy for me. This was very, very challenging in many ways. At one point, I absolutely hit a wall and was struggling. My girls rallied around me, held me up, gave me hope. They helped me study along the way, along with my many, and I mean many, if you ever saw my bag, it was quite extensive, many flashcards. Color-coded, yes, and by priority and alphabet, yeah, it was ridiculous. This has been one of the most challenging courses, but also one of the most rewarding. I gained the skills to not only help and make a difference in my community, it also allowed me to meet these extraordinary women and be part of the dispatch team for Ada County. In closure, I just want everyone to remember, especially my girls, just remember that the task ahead of you is never greater than the strength within you. Thank you.
Great job. What a blessing to have so many, 4 incredible ladies that have taken on this challenge. Good representation by our class president to speak to all of that. Thank you for your words. None of this would be possible without the incredible work that goes into these training programs, and whether that's in dispatch or anywhere else in our agency. But we're really privileged in our dispatch world to have an incredibly talented dispatcher of 25 years that's worked here for the sheriff's office, and for the last 5 years has been our training coordinator for our academies. And so as a result of that, you see all of these incredible dispatchers hitting the floor. And with that, I would like Cassie Owens to come and say a little bit about the training program and share her thoughts as well. So, Cassie?
Good morning. I guess it's still morning. First, I want to start off by saying I certainly did not do this alone. I have such tremendous help and amazing help from the top down. It couldn't happen if we don't have these folks supporting us, giving us the freedom, the resources, and the ideas to go forward with something like this. I have no real education in training other than just doing it for 25 years. And so lots of questions, lots of patience from them in helping me with that and getting it off of the ground. And each academy just gets better and better. We learn things from the previous academy, from those students coming through. And that was a big eye-opener for me, I think, was recognizing these people are grown-ups and they kind of know life by the time they get to us. And so I needed to open my mind and recognize that I can learn as much from them as I'm going to teach them also. When I think back over the 5 academies that we've had, the word that always comes to mind is courage. Courage to be that person leaving a career field and branching out into something new. Courage to step out of college and make this your first career. That's a big step for a first career. It's amazing to me the amount of courage that takes to change your life, to look at something that I'm gonna spend how many weeks just learning this job. Like, that's a lot of courage. This class is no exception, a lot of courage. I wanna read something from Maya Angelou that I really love. It says, "I am convinced that courage is the most important of all virtues, because without courage, you cannot practice any other virtue consistently. You can be kind for a while. You can be generous for a while. You can be just, merciful, even loving for a while. But it is only courage that you can be persistently and insistently kind, generous, and fair." And that goes with everything. Nothing you do can you do without courage to take that first step, to move forward, to key that mic up that first time, knowing you don't really know what to say, to answer that 911 call, knowing I've never done this before and I really don't know what to say, and trusting that your partner, that your trainer has your back and they're gonna help you through it until you do know what to say. It's pretty amazing. This class also, the word that comes to mind with them is advocacy. Oh my goodness. They have been the strongest advocates for themselves and for each other and for our training program. They hold me accountable. So when they have one instructor telling them something that doesn't quite jive with something else that they're being taught on the floor, they let me know. They let me know, and they give me the opportunity to figure out what's going on and to make sure that we fix it, to make sure that we make our message constantly the same. And I love that. When I mess up and do my multiple typos on our tests, they let me know. And I do make them. And so I love that, and I hope that they continue to go forward with that advocacy for themselves especially, but for our program, for our dispatch center, to hold people to those standards that they've held themselves to through this academy, because I have been blown away by the level of professionalism and care and kindness that this class has brought us. Another courage thing from Brene Brown, because I can't have something without Brene in there, my Queen Brene. Courage is like a habit, a virtue. You get it by courageous acts. It's like you learn to swim by swimming, you learn to courage by couraging. I love that. And finally, I want to close with something from the late, great RBG. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I had to put it in there. Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. And my addition to that is do it with dignity, respect, and kindness. Thank you, ladies. I've had a great time. Sorry, I forgot my other part. We're going to introduce you to the graduates now, since you really haven't had a chance to meet them. So we'll start with congratulations, Kim Page. Congratulations, Madison Goodall. Congratulations, Carissa Yarno. Yarnot. Congratulations, Madison Beglinger. Thank you. Oh, okay. I didn't cry this time, but I have messed up. No. I want to introduce to you now our Chief Deputy Johnson, who will do our Vision Award. I'm sorry, that's not right either.
We start over.
All right, I'm going to introduce the top student, actually. So our top student, it was a super close pointage-wise, but our top student is Madison Beglinger, and I want to congratulate her. I know that it doesn't come as a surprise to most of her classmates, because they know how hard she works, how much she advocates for them and helps them learn her learning style and tutors them. And so I definitely congratulate her for that. And now I will introduce Chief Deputy Johnson for the Vision Award.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is good morning, actually. My great honor today is to introduce and talk about the Sheriff's Vision Award. When we started doing our own academies, we realized that you can have a top student, congratulations, but you also need more than smarts. You need that kind, caring, those words that you've heard today about what makes us good at what we do are our employees. And what makes our employees good at what they do is a set of expectations of what we expect them to do. Many agencies in this nation, most of them have a mission, vision, and values on the wall, and they are just that. They're a plaque on the wall. This agency is different, and I'm very proud of that. Our sheriff meets with every single employee and swears them in on their first day and goes through mission, vision, values, and his expectations and his priority for his employees. On day one, we try to make that happen. We come together later, and we have usually a 2-hour class on mission, vision, values. Also branding, which is taught by Amanda Dearden. Amanda Dearden?
I don't know who that is, but I hear
I don't know who that is either. A great instructor. Those things aren't just words on a wall for us. There's something that are very important to us. And because of that, we have developed and we came up with the Vision Award. And the Vision Award is to, frankly, focus on that employee, that person in this academy that was selected by her peers, her instructor, by Cassie Owens and everybody else, that best amplifies the sheriff's vision.
Cassie's feeling better now.
You did it. Mission, vision, and values. I'm going to shut up and read the award. So this is that person that best embodies that. This is the person that best, from this academy, lives up to that mission, vision, and values. And that student, let me read this. Your training coordinator and peers have chosen you as a recipient of this award, and here are just a few reasons why. You have worked to lift up your fellow classmates by encouraging them, helping them study, reaching out after tough days. One of your peers said your level of commitment to help others to be successful is nothing short of stellar. We ask our emergency communication officers to be kind problem solvers. You have taken that request to heart by exemplifying the vision, mission, and values of the Ada County Sheriff's Office. I also want to read a quote that one of the other class members turned in on the application and said, I cannot imagine anyone else getting this award because of how she not only was positive and uplifting inside and out, but she always went the extra mile for us. And this award goes to Madison Beglinger.
That name may come up in the future as we rename people and work through it. But thank you, Cassie, for your work with the Academy. Director Dearden, Scott, thank you so much. Congratulations on your award. That's something that we don't take lightly here. It's exactly who we are, right? Many of you have probably heard that, or hopefully you have heard that as your graduates have come home and shared with you some of their classes and some of their discussions that they're having. But it's not just training. I see one of our deputies here that works for us as well. He's probably heard it 20 times now in the last couple of years. It's who we are, and I think it's why our community trusts us. You look across the nation right now, and there is turmoil from every corner of our nation in regards to law enforcement services. And I'm happy to say that our reputation and our relationship with our community is incredible here in Ada County. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by every time we answer the phone, we do it in a kind way. We do it in a helpful way, and we try to get the right resources for that emergency to you as quickly as we can. I stand in front of you with the great honor of being the sheriff of Ada County, but I also represent over 760 employees that come to work every day to make sure that the right thing happens, to make sure that you do get to have your kids walk to the store. You do get to have a family get together. This is a unique opportunity for me because I started my law enforcement career as a dispatcher. And so dispatch holds a special place in my heart. It's probably the hardest job in the world. When you have to pick up a phone and handle an emergency and take care of things and manage resources and get the right people and calm people down and be kind to people that are screaming and yelling and chaos. And the most unique thing about it is, I talk about it like reading a book. If any of you are readers in here, somebody could hand you the most incredible book in the world and say, I want you to read this book. It is incredible. And you read that book and you get about halfway through it, almost all the way to the end, and somebody comes along and takes that book from you. And they say, hey, I need you to read this book now. And you never get to know the ending to that story. It's difficult for most people. We all are built to know the outcome. And think about that as a challenge. Your job is to help people and take care of them, but you never get to know the end of the story because you're on to 10 more stories that day and 10 more ways to help somebody. And so we're trying as an agency to get better about sending our deputies in and closing those loops and sharing with our dispatchers. But what a challenging job. I commend you, first of all, for being employed by the sheriff's office. It's a challenge to get through our screening process. I commend you for making it through the academy. And then just like you talk about, the next part of this training, the next 16 weeks will be a massive challenge. But we will help you. We will come alongside you and help you get there because it's critically important that we have amazing dispatchers, not only there on the community side helping on 911 calls, but it's very critical for me to have an amazing dispatcher on the other end of a call that I'm responding to provide emergency services. And so, congratulations. Thank you, families, for being here. Thank you to our staff that allowed us to social distance in the right way. Thank you to our county commissioners for joining us online. We're going to end our ceremony, and we're going to do it in a unique way. If you'll just stay seated with your family and your dispatcher, we will take you out in groups. Once you get outside, you can take your masks off and enjoy our time and take some family photographs and those type of things. Today we did record our ceremony. You can go to our YouTube channel and get a copy of that and review that if you would like to do that and enjoy that as a family. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your day. Congratulations again. And let's give our graduates one more round of applause. Thank you.